Yo, what the fuck is going on, cunts? Welcome to another episode of Old School Fuckwit. I've decided that Will Straight here is no longer going to be a special guest, but he's going to be a regular.
That's right.
guest.
So what does that mean? I'm an old school, I'll let you say it.
Old School Fuckwit regular. What are we drinking today? We're drinking...
We are having some Jameson, brother.
Maybe they can hit us up with a sponsorship.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, either that or what we were having last week, some Irish whiskey.
Irish, yes,
Jeez.
as opposed to the Scottish whiskey.
Yeah, we're going to alternate
Mhm.
between bloodlines.
So, what are we talking about today, bro?
I think we're going to be talking about some call-outs.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you and I have both discussed the notion of hip-hop culture, whether it's MCing, you good?
Yeah, I'm drooling. Yeah, anyway, go.
That's all right, man. I drool without even realising half the time. That's part of being an OSFW. Call-outs. I mean, that's what the culture was built on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
You know, this culture as a whole. I'm not just talking about breaking. I mean, we're talking about, you know, calling other graph writers out, calling out MCs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
the art of battling.
Just, you know, old school love.
Yeah.
You know, like just men thing. Even women call each other out. You know, in certain cultures.
Yeah.
You know,
Hard.
it kind of still happens today in sort of day-to-day life, but not as profoundly as it probably used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I agree.
Where to begin then?
Well, I think we should talk about. I mean, let's keep it local. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Alright.
let's talk about. Well, I would start by saying that the call-out battle in the Australian breaking scene, I wouldn't say it's a lost art necessarily,
Right.
but I would argue, and I'm happy to be corrected on this, that it's becoming anomalous, so not as commonplace.
Right.
Than what I was
Anomalous.
than what I was accustomed to, you know, as a younger, and perhaps even more impressionable dancer.
So what was it like back then for you?
Well, I mean, when we talk about back then, you know, I started in 99, 2000. You started in, what,
98?
98, 99?
Yeah.
Yep. So my exposure to the Australian breaking scene started in Sydney. So I started getting down with some local b-boys, but I would regularly go to this spot on Thursday night when I was old enough to. When I turned 18, this is probably after a couple of years of you know, trying to figure out how to break.
Let me guess. Good bar.
Good bar, yeah.
Good bar.
Good bar on a Thursday night. So the regular hip hop spot. That's where I met guys like Death Wish, and I met Versatile from Skill of Will there, who was down with Wicked Force at the time.
Sick.
Still is, presumably.
Sick.
Rapid Fire as well.
Sick.
And we went to a jam one night. I was there with one of my old friends, Ryan Stewart. Peace. I don't think you're going to listen to this, you old prick, but if you do. And Biz from Destructicons.
Biz, yo, he taught me Japanese rocksteady foundation learnt from Crazy Legs.
There you go. So that's the lineage right there.
That's a lineage right there.
So I was just chilling on the side of the circle after doing, you know, a couple of runs here and there, and Biz just out of nowhere. And I'd previously seen footage of Biz at X Games when Destructicons entered.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, and
Yep,
lost
Destructicons,
to
yep.
they lost to Rapid Fire in the final. It was a combination of Rapid Fire and Wicked Force.
Shout outs to Ross, Monkey Boy.
Yeah, man.
Shout
Is
outs
he in
to he lives in Japan.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Acha.
Peace,
Shout outs to
Acha.
what was the half Japanese guy's name?
Oh man,
Illest Power.
bro, I got
All rounder.
Oh,
You
I
know what I'm
who
talking
you're
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it'll come to
Damn,
us. But
son.
yeah, all of the Destructicons, Tetris crew.
Nacho Pop, man.
Nacho.
Original
How can I forget Nacho? He just had
Rogue.
a kid. Rogue.
Nacho the Kid.
Nacho had a
Oh
kid.
my
man.
gosh, yo, Nacho.
That's it, man.
Yeah, respect. Rogue.
Rogue, yep, from
Of course.
Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, from Canada, and whoever we're missing.
Yeah.
So Biz called me out,
Right.
and
As Japanese did.
as they did, man,
As they still do.
as they should.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And that was, I'd say, yeah, one of my earliest kind of events or exposures to, you know, the breaking culture and what battling was about. Because I don't think, from memory, I'd previously entered any competitions. So, yeah, that was just what it was about for me.
Yeah.
It's what I had previously seen watching, you know, bootleg copies of, for example, the Rocksteady Anniversary, B-Boy Summit, B-Boy Summit 99, where KML just goes around calling out everybody.
Yes.
So it was a natural act, which was part of the culture as far as I was concerned. That was my interpretation.
Yes.
How about yourself?
Yes. Well, you know, like I'd seen an interview with what's his name? Not Break Easy. He was part of Magnificent Force and also New York City Breakers. Icy Ice.
Icy Ice, man, the Icy Ice.
And Icy Ice, the creator of the Icy Ice.
Yeah, so if you don't know what an Icy Ice is, you need to be able to Icy Ice if you can't Halo.
Exactly right.
That's where it came from. Name your moves.
Yes, name your moves. That's another one. We got to talk about that in another show. But basically, he said back in the day in the block parties in the Bronx, right? You would be there, you'd be all up in some girl, like trying to mac, and you were dancing, you know, like because everyone was dancing after an era of like MCs, gangs, you know, with territories. They were uniting and now they're all dancing together. But still, that sort of territorialness was around, right? So if you were rocking and then you looked to the corner of your eye and you seen another b-boy come out and he saw you just through that eye contact, as opposed to the feminine eye contact, right? You pretty much had to battle that person.
Yeah.
And it was done respectfully, you got your business done, and then you went back to enjoying the party, you know? But so, like, it was real early in my dance career. It was probably like 2000 and... By 2001, 2002, after dancing for 3-4 years, I remember one crew member at the time, won't even mention his name, he called someone out.
Sure.
And that person, and I can't name him as well, but that person didn't budge.
What do you mean?
He didn't respond.
He didn't respond, yeah.
And it was because he thought it was an offensive thing.
Yep.
Like, who the fuck is this little cunt calling me out because he was a dude of a higher stature?
Sure.
You know, so he probably felt entitled that he didn't need to prove himself to a younger dude.
Yeah.
You know, which I get because that's kind of typical in different hierarchical systems, not just in hip hop, but in hip hop, it was like about responding to a call out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't about who was better,
Yeah.
I don't think per se. That's definitely an element, but it was more so like just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Perhaps. You know?
Yeah, I mean, did you know what the motivation was behind it?
Well, I don't know. I think for me, the only way you can truly call yourself a b-boy is if you battle.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's like a rite of passage. It's like if, like, let's say you took me on as an understudy. Yeah? Like, yo, Lama Rock, I want to teach you how to b-boy. You've got what it takes, right? Yeah. And then I'd been learning for you for a couple of weeks. And then we went to a jam or an event. And then you told me, you need to throw down now. If you don't, you're not a b-boy. And if you don't, I'm not going to teach you ever again. Right. That's pretty much the rite of passage.
Yes.
You know, it's funny we call the dance b-boying or breaking out, but it's like...
You gotta be
like,
battle boy. Huh?
You gotta be battle boy, man. You gotta go out. It's the rite of passage to become a man. Yeah. You know, it's funny it's not called B Manning or... you know?
That's how it all started with kids, didn't it?
B Manningham!
Look, I couldn't agree more. At the end of the day, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience.
Yes.
And I think this is experience that will continue to grow
Mm-hmm.
until I'm dead. You know, until I can't get down anymore.
Yes.
But ultimately, yeah, calling out or being called out or just engaging in those conversations, or whether it's beef orientated or whether you're doing it to prove a point. Who knows what the intrinsic motivation may be?
Yes.
I think that is a fundamental component of being a break boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, taking part in this culture, and you know, engaging in b-boying. You know, I think it's absolute. I think it's rate limiting. I think it's imperative.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and take the moral high ground, or you know, occupy some kind of position of prominence and look down upon people who aren't, you know, calling people out left, right, and center, or being called out, or you know, considering themselves to be cipher b-boys as opposed to competition b-boys. Because I think as a b-boy, you know, you should compete. You should get down in ciphers.
Yeah.
You should go out and you know, just be able to, you know, get
represent.
down, in a nightclub and just boogie or whatever. And there are certain things that myself personally I've neglected over the years, and I really, you know, I went through a phase where I just wanted to call everybody out. And I do know that I offended some dancers in Sydney as a result of that behaviour, but I don't have any regrets because I think it was all part of the journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I said, my initial exposure to battling was through being called out.
Mm.
And I took zero offense whatsoever to it, because Beers, from my point of view at that time, was a sick dude.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this guy called me out. That's a privilege. Do you know what I mean? So...
You know what it is, if you don't mind me cutting you off.
No,
right
please.
Here, is, I don't know if you can give me another example to go with this, something analogous to this, but it's like, if things are at peace, right, then the next thing to come through is war. And then from
in
war,
the context of human history,
right, right, then from war, there's peace, right? But war is got so many negative overtones, yeah?
Yes.
But on a day-to-day life, there's peace and there's war. So in a sense where in a non-violent confrontation, right, you're at peace, then all of a sudden this dude comes in and battles you, declares war, there's a challenge. And from that challenge, both parties get something, and then there's peace again.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's the only way to keep things moving forward, because if dudes didn't battle, then breaking wouldn't be where it is at today. And it wouldn't be a dance that stood out from the other dances.
Absolutely.
And it seems like all of those street dances, even the street dances where it was like a partner dance, like the Latin dance, you know, Latin American dances like salsa and mambo and bachata, and that, even though they're like male and female dances, they're kind of, parts of it is quite exhibitionist. It's like, we're the better couple than those couples there, you know? So it's like a constant challenge to grow.
There's a lot of hormones that are flowing at the same time. Straight up.
Oh shit, it's
Carly. What's up, Carly?
Hey, Carly, my stunt double.
Yeah, man. And there's Mouser.
And there's Mouser.
So this was a pretty dope battle, Shadow Wars.
Shadow Wars. But any last words before we wrap it up, bro?
Look, I just want to say, bring back the beef, bring back the biff. Do you know what I mean?
It's not real beef, but yeah.
Non-physical acts of violence. You know, on the floor. Just I just want to see some call outs again. I love it. Respect to Breaking Borders in Sydney. They're doing it right. I remember...
They're like the mob of this generation.
Yeah.
They're like the fresh socks of this generation.
So Jono, what's up, Jono? I remember you son of a bitch, man. I'm going to say you're a freaking sick dude. But there was a couple of years back. This is a true story, man. I was in Sydney, not even a couple of years back. It was like probably about a year and 6 months, man. I was in Sydney. Went to training at Crossover Studios, man. It was the time when my old man passed away, so I just wanted to go on break just to kind of clear my head. I went there, I was getting down for a little while. I hadn't been like training a lot at that time. And Jono rocks up. I'd been probably getting down for about 45, 60 minutes, already tired. He's watching me the entire time, steps in, does his set, looks at me. I'm like, okay, look, we're going at it. Because I was at his practice spot, man. Do you know what I mean?
Sneaky
and he
bastard.
called me out, and you got to go. So respect to those dudes, because I see them building their rep, not only through entering competitions and kind of, you know, improving upon you know, how they perform from comp to comp, but also they're in the ciphers, they're calling dudes out. I remember Ty at the Ryuji 7 to Smoke.
Shout out to Ty.
Yeah, shout out to Ty. What's up, brother? He wasn't actually invited, so Johnny Yayo and I both flew up from here, so we were invited guests for that comp, and a bunch of other real sick b-boys, and freaking Ty, man, called out everyone in the lineup. I heard that battle went down in the boxing ring against Johnny at the end of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, so he got me at the start of the day, and then at the end of the night, I think he called out just everyone bar maybe one. But yeah, respect to those who call cats out, because it doesn't always have to be beef orientated.
Yeah.
Some dudes will just do it to build their rep.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Bring it back, man. Bring back the biff. Where's the beef at? If you got beef, settle it in the ciphers. Call me out.
Yeah, fucking...
Call this dude out.
Fucking, yeah, might just get me off my ass, you know.
Don't make us come and smoke you.
Alright, peace.